Alright, so this puppy has been blowing my mind. So this little guy, who you're going to see here in just a second, I don't want to put him in the box until I'm ready. Alright, but we've been working on active thought learning or activating his learning process. So he's been imprinted on the clicker since he was about 4 weeks old. He is now 8.5 weeks old. For the last 2 weeks, he has had individual sessions with clicker training away from his brothers and sisters who are all now gone. He's the only one left. But yesterday, anyway, I started doing something different. We've been working on basically up to until yesterday. We were working on basically eye contact, and we were working on sitting and a little bit of luring, getting him to follow my hand and direction. So we'll start this morning with just a couple little quick seeing if he'll offer behavior. So there's a sit. We click in and mark. So again, there's the behavior. He's looking directly at me. You can't see it because you're seeing it from the backside. Again, direct eye contact, sitting. So what we did yesterday is I added in a traffic cone, which is something that he had never seen before. And over a series of a few repetitions and a little bit of luring to get him around the cone. Again, making him very active in his mindset. So here's the cone. Let's see where he picks up today. So yesterday the goal was to get him to walk around the cone. And here we go. So he did this for like 7 minutes yesterday. We did it one session, and by the end of that 7-minute session, he had already figured out that by walking around the cone, he could get rewarded. So here we are this morning, starting out again. By putting the cone in there, he already remembers what he did yesterday to get the reward. So this is called active learning on the dog's part, because it teaches the dog to think about how they can do things that will get them a reward. So again, you see moving the cone, making it a little more difficult. So this is his second session on this. Yesterday we went from him never seeing the cone before through a few quick repetitions on him looking towards the cone and then taking a step towards the cone, and then as he would. So yesterday what I did is as he would walk towards the cone, see if I can get him. So as he would walk towards the cone, I would turn and I would reach in and I would mark him here, like right here. So I'd mark, and then progressively he would walk and run around the cone. So now he's already figured out that, hey, if I go and walk around the cone, chew, don't inhale. You be right? Get her, there you go. So again, this is not, so as a potential police dog, does this have any value? Maybe, because maybe you can use this down the road to teach the dog to send away. As you build on their obedience, you'd be able to put a cone out and send the dog to the cone and then down the dog. Obviously, your obedience there would have to be, you'd have to have some distance control with obedience. We'll cut this piece out. So, anyway, we'll take the cone back out and see what he does. And he's going to go back to the other thing that he knows that gets him reward, which is sitting and looking directly at me. So again, building building that attention and that focus towards me as the handler is something that I want in my dog. So there's kind of a little bit of a split there. I want my dog to pay attention to me, but I also want my dog to be active outside of me and understanding that he can do things that makes me pay him. So I'm not luring him. I'm not baiting him. I'm capturing behaviors that he is offering, and then we're going to mark and reinforce those behaviors. So teaching a dog to be active makes them more likely to be less dependent on you as a handler, if that makes sense. So I've seen a lot of police dogs and a lot of dogs in general that have been lured, have been high corrections, a lot of compulsion, and those dogs are afraid to go away from the handler. They're afraid to do something away from the handler, or they don't think that they can get reward by being away from the handler. So I want my dog to know that he doesn't have to be next to me to get a reward, that he can be away from me, and again, so that he can kind of create things in his own mind. So I'll put the comb back down in. Yeah, we just weighed him out. He's also pretty full right now, so because it's only 10 o'clock and this is already his second meal today, so. And at this point, I'm not giving him, you can't see all of me, but I am giving him no input whatsoever into what to do or how to do it to gain the reward. I'm waiting for him to offer behavior. But I'm capturing that behavior that he's offering and reinforcing him with the marker to let him know that that is a behavior that will get him rewarded. So you could also use this for sport competition. You could also use this to teach the blinds. So there you can see I marked. He didn't come to me because I wasn't quick enough, and he went and offered the behavior again. I didn't mark it the second time. I just rewarded him for doing it because I had already marked and he had already given the behavior. So we'll do one last reward session here because that's all I got left for food in my pouch. We'll wait for him to do something that I want to capture, preferably a sit with attention. There we go. And that's the end of the session. Thanks for coming along.